Pause for a moment. Something unusual is happening behind the scenes of your life, and the person meant to walk beside you in the future can no longer ignore it. They tried to stay calm. They tried to act normal. But something about your energy, your presence, your hidden depth, has completely unsettled their heart in the most unexpected way. And no, this is not because of something superficial. It is because they are beginning to realize who you truly are. Not the version people misunderstood. Not the version forced to stay quiet. Not the version that smiled while carrying silent battles no one ever noticed. I am talking about the real you. The rare soul beneath all the noise. Listen carefully, because this message found you for a reason. Somewhere, at this very moment, your future partner is replaying small moments in their mind that once seemed ordinary. A sentence you spoke. A look in your eyes. The calmness in your voice when everything around you felt chaotic. They cannot explain why those memories suddenly feel powerful now, but they do. And what shocks them most is this. You were never pretending. You never needed to chase attention to be unforgettable. You carried something far deeper than appearances. Something difficult to describe. A presence that quietly changes the atmosphere around people without even trying. Stay here a little longer, because the next part matters more than you think. Your future partner once believed they understood people easily. They thought attraction was simple. Predictable. Temporary. But then your energy entered their path like a question they could not answer. Why do they feel calmer thinking about you? Why does your silence say more than loud voices ever could? Why do they feel seen by someone who barely even tried to impress them? That realization is shaking them. Because the truth is, they are beginning to understand that you are not ordinary. There is something visionary about you. Something emotionally intelligent. Something quietly powerful. You notice things others ignore. You feel things deeply even when you hide it. You carry wisdom created through experiences you rarely speak about. And your future partner can sense this now. At first, it made them nervous. Not because you are intimidating, but because your authenticity forces them to confront their own truth. Around you, masks become difficult to wear. Games lose meaning. Pretending feels exhausting. You unknowingly awaken honesty inside people. That is why they cannot stay emotionally neutral anymore. What if this connection changes their entire future? What if meeting you becomes the turning point they never expected? What if the peace they searched for in so many places has quietly been connected to you this whole time? These thoughts keep returning to them at unexpected hours. Late at night. Early mornings. Random quiet moments. And every time they try to dismiss it, something pulls them back toward your energy again. You may not see it yet, but your story is already creating movement in someone else's heart. Wait, because this next revelation explains everything. Your future partner is slowly realizing that your strength was never loud. It was hidden inside your endurance. Inside every moment you kept moving forward despite disappointment. Inside every silent recovery nobody applauded. Most people only notice obvious confidence. But your future partner is beginning to recognize a rarer kind of power, the kind built quietly in darkness. And that realization is deeply affecting them. Because they now understand this truth. You are the kind of person who transforms lives simply by being real. Not perfect. Not artificial. Real. That is becoming unforgettable to them. There is also something else they are starting to notice, something almost impossible to explain logically. Whenever they imagine a future, your presence naturally appears inside it. Not forced. Not imagined out of loneliness. It simply happens. As though their spirit already recognizes yours before their mind fully catches up. You might miss the turning point if you leave too early, because what happens next changes the emotional direction of this connection forever. Your future partner is beginning to feel protective over the connection itself. They are becoming more careful with their choices. More aware of their actions. More thoughtful about who they allow around them. Why? Because realizing your value has awakened something serious inside them. For the first time in a long time, they do not want something temporary. They want something meaningful. And the shocking part is, you awakened this shift without even trying. Not through manipulation. Not through pressure. Not through performance. But simply through your authenticity. The world taught them to expect shallow connections. You reminded them depth still exists. And now they cannot return to who they were before recognizing that truth. Before this part ends, hear this carefully. The reason your future partner feels emotionally overwhelmed right now is because they are realizing they may have finally encountered someone rare enough to change the entire direction of their life. Someone whose presence feels peaceful instead of draining. Someone whose honesty feels magnetic instead of dangerous. Someone whose heart feels like home after years of emotional noise. That someone is you. And this realization has made remaining calm almost impossible for them. Wait, don't scroll away yet, because the energy surrounding this connection has started shifting faster than either of you expected. Your future partner thought these emotions would fade with time. They believed distance, distraction, or logic would quiet what they were feeling. But instead, the opposite happened. The more they tried to move on mentally, the stronger your presence became in their thoughts. Not in a chaotic way. Not in an unhealthy way. In a way that felt almost impossible to explain. Like a quiet signal constantly returning to them no matter how busy life became. And recently, something changed inside them that they have not admitted to anyone. They stopped asking themselves whether you were special. Now they are asking themselves whether they are truly ready for someone like you. That question has unsettled them deeply. Because your future partner is beginning to understand that being connected to you requires emotional honesty. Real honesty. The kind most people avoid for years. Around you, surface-level conversations suddenly feel empty. Fake confidence becomes obvious. Emotional games lose their excitement. You bring clarity into places people once kept hidden. And they feel it every time your energy crosses their mind. Stay with this message a little longer, because something important is unfolding behind the scenes. There are moments when your future partner sits quietly, replaying certain details about you over and over again. Maybe it was your patience. Maybe it was your calmness during difficult moments. Maybe it was the way you carried kindness without expecting applause. Whatever it was, it reached deeper than they expected. And now they are realizing something shocking. You are becoming the emotional standard they compare everyone else to, without even trying. That realization has made ordinary connections feel weaker to them. Conversations that once entertained them now feel temporary. Attention from others feels empty because it lacks the emotional depth they secretly crave now. You changed their perspective without forcing anything. That is what they cannot stop thinking about. And here is the strange part. They are also beginning to feel afraid of losing a future they have not even experienced yet. Think about that for a second. How powerful must a connection feel for someone to fear losing it before it fully begins? That is exactly where their heart is drifting now. Not because of fantasy. Not because of obsession. But because something inside them recognizes long-term peace when they feel it. And your energy feels peaceful to them in a world filled with emotional confusion. You'll understand everything at the end, because there is another truth they are slowly discovering about you. Your future partner once believed strong people never struggled emotionally. But then they started noticing the quiet strength inside you. The kind that survives disappointment without becoming bitter. The kind that still chooses kindness after being misunderstood. The kind that keeps hoping even after painful seasons. That strength has affected them more than you realize. Because deep down, they know how rare it is. Many people become cold after life hurts them. Many people close their hearts permanently. But you somehow remained emotionally alive. And your future partner cannot stop admiring that. Something inside them keeps whispering, this person is different. This connection feels important. This could become something life-changing. Those thoughts are growing louder now. And there is another reason they feel emotionally restless lately. They are starting to imagine telling you truths they normally hide from everyone else. Their fears. Their regrets. Their dreams they rarely speak aloud. Around the idea of you, vulnerability no longer feels dangerous. It feels safe. That alone has surprised them. Because they are not used to feeling emotionally understood without needing to perform first. Pause here for a second and think about this. How many people spend years searching for someone who makes them feel emotionally calm instead of emotionally exhausted? That is what your future partner is beginning to feel with you. Not pressure. Not confusion. Not emotional chaos. Calm. And the more they recognize it, the harder it becomes for them to ignore what their heart is trying to say. By the way, if this message is resonating deeply with you, leave a comment below sharing what part touched your heart the most. And if you choose to stay connected to this journey, subscribe so you do not miss what unfolds next. Sometimes the right message arrives at the exact right moment. Now listen carefully, because this next part matters more than they realize. Your future partner is beginning to sense that meeting you was not random timing. Too many coincidences started aligning. Too many emotional walls began breaking unexpectedly. Too many lessons from their past suddenly started making sense after encountering your energy. It feels almost as if life was preparing them for you long before either of you understood it. And that realization has completely disrupted the emotional balance they once had. Because now they cannot return to shallow thinking. They cannot unsee your value. They cannot pretend your presence means nothing. Something inside them has already shifted permanently. Even when they try to distract themselves, your energy returns quietly. Even when they tell themselves to slow down, their heart moves closer. Even when they attempt to act unaffected, their emotions betray them. Because the truth becoming clear to them is simple. You are not just someone they noticed. You are someone they deeply feel. And once a soul feels something real, remaining calm becomes almost impossible. Something unexpected is happening now, and your future partner is no longer able to hide it from themselves. The emotions they once kept controlled are beginning to rise to the surface in quiet, undeniable ways. Even the smallest reminders of you suddenly carry weight. A certain song. A familiar time of night. A random moment of silence. Everything keeps leading their thoughts back to you. And what unsettles them most is this. They are starting to realize you may be the person who changes the emotional direction of their entire life. Not temporarily. Not for a season. But deeply. Listen closely, because this part reveals what they have been afraid to admit even to themselves. Your future partner spent a long time believing love had to feel complicated to feel real. They became used to uncertainty. Mixed signals. Emotional distance. But then your energy entered their awareness carrying something unfamiliar. Clarity. You did not force them to chase. You did not try to control their emotions. You did not create confusion to keep their attention. And somehow, that honesty affected them more powerfully than anything else ever has. Because peace is rare in today's world. Real emotional safety is rare. And now they are beginning to understand that your presence gives them both. Stay until the end, because one final realization is beginning to awaken inside them, and it changes everything. There are moments when your future partner catches themselves imagining ordinary things with you, conversations late at night, peaceful mornings, laughter during difficult days, silent understanding without needing endless explanations. At first, these thoughts surprised them. But now? Those visions feel natural. And that is what truly shook them. Because they are no longer imagining temporary excitement. They are imagining a future that feels emotionally stable. A future that feels real. You may not fully realize this yet, but your energy has already started healing parts of them they thought would remain guarded forever. Not because you saved them, but because your authenticity reminded them they no longer need to hide constantly. Around the thought of you, they feel accepted. That feeling is becoming addictive in the purest way. And here is another truth they are slowly discovering. Your strength is not just emotional. It is spiritual in the way it affects people. You carry resilience without arrogance. Wisdom without needing attention. Compassion without weakness. Your future partner sees this now. And it has made them emotional in moments they never expected. Because deep down, they know people like you are rare to encounter. Before you leave, hear this carefully. Your future partner is also beginning to recognize something about themselves. Since realizing who you truly are, they have started changing quietly behind the scenes. Becoming more mature. More intentional. More aware of what actually matters. Why? Because your energy inspires growth naturally. Not through pressure. Not through fear. but through presence. You make them want to become emotionally worthy of the future they suddenly see with you. That realization has completely disrupted their inner world. There are nights when they wonder if you understand your own value yet. If you realize how deeply your kindness affects people. If you know how rare your emotional depth truly is in a world obsessed with appearances. Because from their perspective, you feel unforgettable. Not loud. Not dramatic. Unforgettable. And now something even bigger is beginning to happen. The connection between you is slowly moving beyond curiosity and into certainty. Your future partner is starting to trust what they feel instead of running from it. That is the shift. For a long time, they questioned their emotions. They analyzed everything. They doubted whether real connections still existed. But the more they reflect on you, the harder it becomes to deny the peace, warmth, and emotional clarity your energy brings into their life. You became the answer to questions they stopped asking aloud. And honestly, that realization has left them emotionally overwhelmed in ways they cannot fully explain. Because when someone spends years expecting temporary people, meeting someone genuine feels almost unreal at first. Yet every instinct inside them keeps whispering the same thing. This person matters. This connection is different. Do not lose this. And those thoughts are becoming impossible for them to ignore now. If this message found you at the exact right moment, let your voice be part of this journey. Share your thoughts in the comments, connect with others who feel this energy too, and subscribe if you want to continue uncovering what is unfolding behind this connection. Sometimes the messages meant for your future arrive before the future itself does. Now let this final truth settle into your heart. Your future partner cannot stay calm anymore because they finally understand that you were never ordinary. You were never just another passing connection. You were the rare kind of soul that enters someone's life and quietly transforms the way they see love, trust, peace, and themselves. And the moment they truly realized who you are, everything inside them changed. Tonight, something inside your future partner feels impossible to silence. And no matter how hard they try to distract themselves, your presence keeps returning stronger than before. It is no longer just curiosity. It is no longer just attraction. What they are feeling now has become emotional certainty slowly taking shape inside their heart. And that realization is changing the way they move through life. Because suddenly, the future feels different to them. For the first time in a very long time, they are not imagining temporary happiness. They are imagining permanence. Stability. A connection that still feels peaceful after the excitement fades. And strangely enough, every version of that future somehow includes you. Wait a little longer, because the next truth explains why they have become so emotionally unsettled lately. Your future partner is beginning to notice how deeply your energy affects their decisions. Small things are changing without them fully realizing it at first. They are becoming more selective with who they spend time around. More careful with what they tolerate emotionally. More protective of their peace. Why? Because after recognizing your value, they can no longer pretend shallow energy satisfies them. You awakened higher standards inside them. And the shocking part is, you did it effortlessly. Without demanding attention. Without trying to win them. Without changing who you are. That authenticity became unforgettable to them. There are moments now when they sit quietly thinking about how rare it is to encounter someone whose energy feels both calming and inspiring at the same time. Usually people bring one or the other. But you somehow bring both. You calm their chaos while also making them dream bigger. You make them feel emotionally safe while also awakening ambition inside them. You make them feel understood while also encouraging growth. That combination has completely caught them off guard. Because deep down, they know connections like this do not happen often. And here is where things become even more emotional. Your future partner has started imagining introducing you into parts of their life they normally keep separate from everyone else. Their private world. Their long-term plans. Their vulnerable side they rarely reveal. This is huge for them. Because trust does not come easily to their heart. But with you, walls are falling naturally. Not all at once. Not dramatically. Quietly. Like sunlight slowly entering a dark room. You'll understand the full meaning of this soon, because something powerful is happening beneath the surface of this connection. Your future partner is beginning to recognize that your value goes beyond what people notice immediately. The more they think about you, the more they realize your greatest qualities are hidden in the details. Your patience. Your emotional intelligence. Your quiet resilience. Your ability to remain genuine in a world that rewards performance. Those things stay in their mind longer than appearances ever could. And honestly, it scares them a little. Because they know once someone touches your soul this deeply, life cannot return to normal afterward. You become unforgettable in a way that follows people everywhere. Even silence starts carrying your memory. And lately, they have been feeling that strongly. There are nights when they suddenly wonder. What if this is the person I was supposed to meet all along? What if every difficult lesson prepared me for this connection? What if this feeling is real? Those questions keep echoing inside them. And little by little, the answers are becoming clear. Before this message continues, if your heart feels connected to these words, take a moment to share your thoughts below and subscribe to stay part of this journey. Sometimes hearing someone else's experience reminds us we are not alone in what we feel. Now listen carefully, because the next realization may be the one that changes everything. Your future partner is starting to understand that your power was never about demanding attention from the world. Your power comes from the way people feel after experiencing your energy. People feel calmer, safer, more honest with themselves. And your future partner feels it more intensely than anyone else. That is why they cannot stay emotionally distant anymore. The connection has become too real. They are beginning to picture conversations that last for hours without exhaustion. They are imagining building memories instead of temporary moments. They are imagining loyalty instead of confusion. And perhaps the most shocking part of all. They are beginning to trust love again because of you. Not fantasy. Not illusion. Real trust. You reopened something inside them they thought life had permanently closed. That is why their emotions have become impossible to control lately. Because once someone realizes they have encountered a soul capable of bringing peace into their future, the heart stops treating the connection casually. And your future partner is no longer capable of treating you like just another person. In their heart, you have already become something far more important than that.